Together, let's weave a web of love that transcends the bounds of time and space, uniting hearts in a journey of universal connection.
He said, it's better to walk alone than to walk with a fool. If you want, consciously you can evolve in this evening. There is no limit as to how a human being can become. This is something that every human being must do. Then coming together will be hugely rewarding. When Gautama, the Buddha, was asked, is it better to walk alone or in company? He said, it's better to walk alone than to walk with a fool. Well, that's him, not me. He was quite sure that only a fool will walk with you. So he said, it's better to walk alone than to walk with a fool. Certain lore in this country says, when you want to do a short and quick journey, walk alone. When you want to do a long journey, walk in company. But the important thing is, who is walking with you? Not always being together is a good thing. Many times, being together can be a nuisance. So, first and foremost, unless you are a twin, even then, we come alone and we go alone. If one does not know how to be by himself or herself, then being together can be a lot of nuisance. We are referred to as human beings. Human beings means every other creature is what it is simply because of what it does. But a human being can simply be, which is a unique quality of the human being, that we can simply be, that we are not compulsive action, that's what it means. Our action is conscious and judicious. But generally, when people get together, generally, people are in compulsive action. It can be an association where there could be a purposeful action, or it can be a gang where there can be more purposeful action, or it can be a crowd which can be a compulsive action. So essentially, to be human means we have reached that point of evolution within ourselves that if we wish, we can simply sit here, just be. We can consider as to what action to take and what not to take. This is definitely individual. When individuals come together, we say, it's we in plural, but still it is individuals who have to come together. To be an individual means you are not further divisible. That means you're just one. People find different ways to divide themselves within themselves. In India, with 8,000–10,000 years of cultural history, we have invented various words to divide ourselves. It's very common for people to talk in terms of Atma, Paramatma, Ahankara, this one and that one. But every culture has this in their own way. When things are going right, when good things are being done, if you ask people, they say, yes, I did it. When things don't go right, when things go wrong, then they will try to find somebody. If they don't find anybody, He is always there. When they are very wonderful, of course they take pride in being how wonderful they are. When they turn nasty, they say, it was my ego. Mr. Ego is always a fall guy. So individual means, but if I'm wonderful, it's me. If I'm nasty, it's me, all of you. Are you 24 hours wonderful? Hello? Are you 24 hours wonderful? No, sometimes wonderful, sometimes nasty, sometimes beautiful, sometimes ugly. It's okay. If we understand it is me who is capable of being absolutely wonderful and it is me who is capable of being absolutely nasty another moment, then gradually the number of moments of nastiness will keep on receding. If I see what is wonderful is me, what is nasty is… In India we have many words, it's my karma, what can I do? Now, you must fix this. Being an individual is very important, that means you're not further divisible. If I'm wonderful, it's me, if I'm nasty, it's me. If I succeed, it's me, if I fail, it's me. You have to fix this. I'm just asking you a simple question. Within this, how many people? Hello? How many people within you? 1, 2, only one. If you're one, you're normal human being. If you're more than one, you're either schizophrenic or you're possessed. You either need a psychiatrist or an exorcist. But you will see whenever things don't go right, another guy will pop up from somewhere. So, becoming an individual means you killed all those pop-ups and just said, this is me. This what is me has many dimensions. If I don't see this is an individual, I cannot divide this further, then transformation will not happen. If transformation does not happen, if people come together in that state, there will be more mess than solutions. All creatures hang out together. Whether it is various wild creatures, most of them hang out together. Even monkeys who are just one step behind us, they are also in bunches. It is only human being who can sit alone and transform himself or herself, because this is the prerogative of being human, that we can simply be. This is why you are called human being, you are capable of being. You are not in a compulsive state of activity. If you want, consciously you can evolve. In this evening you can evolve, if you're willing. It doesn't take 1,000,000 years, because our evolution is not biological anymore, our evolution is conscious. For every other creature, it is fixed. Nature has fixed 2 lines within which every other creature lives and goes. But once you have come as a human being, there is only bottom line, there is no top line. There is no limit as to how a human being can become. So before we associate ourselves with people, it'll be good every day in the morning or a certain period of your life, if one withdraws to spend a little time with oneself and see how, in what ways can this be little better than the way it was yesterday, this life? How it can be a little better life than what it was yesterday? Because most people are coming together for their needs. To fulfill needs, people come together. Some people come together to fulfill a purpose or a cause. Some people come together to eat, drink and be together because they cannot be alone. This is something that every human being must do. A certain period of time, You do one thing, just 24 hours, take a break from everything, not today, right now you're among people. You take a break sometime, just 24 hours. And don't read, don't watch television, don't use the phone. Simply sit in your room, alert, not sleeping. And if you watch the nature of your mind, you yourself will certify, this is a madman. Because for most people, their mind cannot stay on any one thing. Unless they're in activity, simply they cannot be here. In compulsive state of psychological activity is on. When you are like this, you cannot be. That means you cannot be a human being. Being has to happen. Only then togetherness will be very rich. If you know how to be by yourself, then coming together will be hugely rewarding and of tremendous value. That means we came together consciously.
Policy for the country, we are working on it. It may take another year, year and a half before we really come up with this. Because I live my life out of my experience, and my experience of education was just ridiculous. The sisters… No, I'm acknowledging them because I am also a Carmelite. One year, on my second standard, I was in the Christ the King convent, and in my seventh standard, I was in my Nirmala convent. No school would keep me for more than 1 year. Because I never understood, why the hell am I going to the school? Nobody explained to me. It's very… please, whatever I say, please, I want you to listen to this carefully because it could be misunderstood completely. Because when I was 4.5 years of age, one thing struck me, that suddenly I did not know anything. I do not know anything means I do not know anything at all. If somebody gives me a glass of water, I do not know what is water. Well, I know I can drink it, I can use it, I know how to use it, but I don't know what it is. So I keep staring at the water for hours on end. Well, actually the fact is, even today you don't know what is water, if you really look at it. We know how to use it, we know how to destroy it, but we don't know what it is really. With all this scientific exploration, we do not know one single atom in its entirety. We know how to break it, fuse it, make a bomb out of it, all these things we know, but we don't know what it is. So if I found a blade of grass, I'm just staring at it for hours. If I sit up in the night in the bed, I'm simply staring in the darkness. My dear father, being a physician, started thinking that I need psychiatric evaluation. You're just too late. My problem was, I look at this and I don't know what this is. They're asking me to look at that. I just cannot shift my attention, I'm just looking at this. In this condition, they sent me to school. My mother said, don't look here and there, pay attention to the teacher. I went and looked at the teacher. Absolute attention to the teacher, the kind of attention they had never received in their life. Many things happened in this, I don't want to go into the detail. When about 9 years ago, this school where I studied for a couple of years, that's the only school where I stayed for 2 years. So they came to invite me for their 125th anniversary. I said, see, why me? I was not just a not good student, I was not even a student. Because I didn't have a textbook, I didn't have a notebook, I just went. I just had a bicycle. I thought it was good enough. So, I said, why me? Please, I'm not a good example for the students. They said, no, no, our school has produced union ministers, our school has produced cricketing stars, film stars, you are the only mystic, you have to come. So I went. So I went and sat there in the quadrangle, the same oppressive buildings, and no, this is my experience, I'm saying. And suddenly I looked at this particular classroom and I remembered, I was 12 years of age. One afternoon, these are times when I don't speak for many days, because when you don't know anything what to say. I'm still trying to drink in the creation around me, I'm paying attention to the leaf, to the… everything. Man, woman, child, animal, plant, anything. I'm just paying attention to everything, I still not figured out a thing. So there's nothing much to say, so I don't speak. So at one point, my father put me through speech and hearing test, thinking I cannot speak. This is the problem of a physician. Then that afternoon, the teacher is trying to get some response from me. After about 35–40 minutes, I'm just looking at him. I don't even hear what he's saying. I know this man's past, present and future, but I don't hear the question. After 35–40 minutes, he got so frustrated and angry with me. He came and held me by the shoulder, shook me like this violently and said, you must either be the divine or the devil. I think you're the later. I didn't feel insulted or abused, I just thought about this. Because till then, I did not know what is this, what is this, what is that, what is that. Everything is a question mark, the entire universe. But I knew one thing, this is me. This guy confused me about that also. I just looked like this. Is this divine, is this devil? What the hell is this? I tried to stare, it didn't work, then I started closing my eyes and sitting. This is how my journey started, because I am trying to figure out what the hell is this, because till now I had one assurance, this is me. Suddenly he confused me about this also. Why I'm telling you this is, see, we have set up education factories to feed for other factories, larger factories. You must all understand, day in and day out when everybody talks economy, 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 you must understand you are just raw material. You're not human beings. That's where we're driving the world, entire world. When economy is the most important thing, this is how you will run the education. There is no time for any tenderness, there is no time for any nurturing, there is no time for anything, because everybody has to pass at a certain age and get into the job and make money, and then in the end, I don't know what, they'll relax in the end when they're 75. So this has to change, but for this to change, we have been in 15–20 generations of poverty in this country. Your parents have relaxed a little bit. My time, our parents were so hyper about how will you earn a living, how will you earn a living. I said, why are you bothered about how do I earn a living? Tell me when you don't want to feed me, I'll just go somewhere. I'm capable of getting my food, and I have no problem of wanting to live like somebody else. I'm not bothered what somebody else has. I know I will never go hungry, I will find my food somehow. I went into the jungle and stayed for 3 weeks by myself, and I managed to survive off the jungle. So I knew if nothing works, I'll go into Western Ghats. So why I'm saying this is, we become too overly concerned about survival process. For the society to relax a little bit, I think economic development is needed. See, these two things are like this. If economic development is much more and there is ease, that if you… let's say you don't pass your examination, you won't fall on the street and get lost. If that assurance is there, everybody will relax a little bit, feet off the throttle a little bit will happen. So right now we created three different dimensions of education. One form of education is just for rural India, because for them it's economic. For them to get out of that economic and social pit in which they are, a certain type of education. Another form of education for those parents who are reasonably affluent, who want their children to be exposed to a variety of things. Here at least 50% of the time is dedicated to art, music, theatre, like this, and the school is created like a museum, almost. So children live here in a completely different way. And we have another school which you saw the girls dancing. From the age of 6 to 18, there is no academics for them. They learn only classical dance, classical music, Kalaripaitu, which is the mother of all martial arts, yoga, Sanskrit language and English language. This is all they learn. They don't go to any academic stuff. They go through 12 to 15 years of very severe training. You saw the girls dancing, but you don't know their fitness. If you ask them to just climb up here, they will just find their way up. They're like that. Physically, the main focus is to grow the body and the brain to its fullest without any intent. See, the problem is at the age of 3, people like to hear their sweet little girls say, "What will you become?" "I'll become doctor." At the age of 3. So from the age of 3, you're wishing a lot of people will be sick in the world. I'm saying it's a completely wrong way of nurturing. Raising children or bringing up human beings is like raising a garden. It's not a factory. In one extruder, everybody goes, but that's not going to change in a hurry. So you need to learn how to make the factory feel like a garden a little bit, because in your time, it's not going to change. By the time you get out of education, it will… if we start the process now and invest heavily, it may change slowly in the next 20, 25 years. That's how it is. Because changing the education system, in thought we can change it, on paper we can change it. Putting it down there, training the necessary people, creating the infrastructure, this is not going to happen. And also we need to reduce our population a little bit. Otherwise it's very difficult to provide good education for everybody.
So there is, since we're talking about education and the Indian education system…
Are the people in the upper region still awake and on? Quiet there, so…
Okay, since we're talking about the Indian education system, one of the main questions that actually came to us, was, is attendance… is education all about attendance? Because somewhere… Yeah, they're awake now. Somewhere, no one wakes up in the morning to say, "Oh, I'm going to learn something new today."
She wants to become a star in the college.
So, everyone, I think, gets up saying, "Oh, I don't have attendance, dude. I think I need to attend this class. Oh, I have 85 in that, so maybe I can miss one class." I think many of the students here, they don't like maths, but when it comes to calculating the amount of percentage that is required, they're so good at it. I think even Anisha has a question when it comes to motivation and drive as such, especially in college. Yeah. So, my main question is, how do we shift that into more of a learning objective than making attendance so dominant in this education system?
I don't want to share my experience of attendance.
What happens with the student body at large is the drive to learn or the drive to acquire knowledge has died down somewhere. So I think this is a question from the student government itself, because we as an organization, as an institution, I think…
You're trying to win the next election also.
Won it already. So what happens with a lot of the students in college is we provide them with all of the avenues that they possibly could ask for. The best associations, the best teachers, the best outlook, the best reach, opportunity, name it, and we've given it at some level. But the drive to get them to actually do it, or the drive to get ourselves to actually pick ourselves by the feet and say, this is what I want to do, I want to make full use the whole potential of what I've been given. How do we accomplish that? Because I think there's a stage of stagnation. We hit a plateau by third year and we've declined. So how do we overcome that stagnation?
See, as you have been pointing out, as students everywhere, and it's not that teachers and establishment doesn't know about it, they also know. One thing is the massive size of the student body. It's not a small number to experiment and change this and that, it's massive. And if you make any changes, the loopholes that arise in the new system, everybody will exploit the loophole. So, people are averse to change because of this, which is not the right way to approach. But the pressures of running an educational institution, I also know how it is. Talking about attendance, see, I raise my girl with very little interference with what she's doing. So she traveled with me. I was traveling across India, driving myself all the time. So she started traveling with me when she was 3.5 months of age. I just held her down in the front seat, strapped, and drove. Always my right leg is heavy, you know. So she grew up like this in various homes and her exposure to people was tremendous. By the time she's 18 months of age, she's fluently speaking 3 languages. But I made it very clear to everybody, nobody will teach her anything. Do not teach her ABC, Mary had a little lamb. I don't care whether Mary had a lamb or not. So, I made one rule, you can play with her, you can do whatever, nobody is going to teach her 1, 2, 3, ABC, nothing. No rhymes, no nothing. Well, she picked up some cinema tunes, this and that, like Sounds of Isha singing, she picked up those tunes by herself, but nobody taught her anything. Then I thought I'll never send her to school, she can just be with me, but one big problem is you cannot provide that age group company, which is very important. She may become my age when she is still 10, 12. So I sent her to a school which is most relaxed without too many restrictions. When she was 12, 13 years of age, one day she came to me, something that happened in the school upset her emotionally and she came to me and she said, "You're teaching everybody so many things, you don't tell me anything." I said, "See, I don't teach anything to anybody unsolicited. Now that you've come, we can talk, I think." I said, "This is all you have to know. Never look up to anybody." She looked at me like this. I said, "Even me? Because if you look up to me, you will miss the value of who I am. Maybe you'll hang me on the wall and nail me to the wall and smoke me out of your house with incense. But you will miss the value of who I am, you have to look at me for who I am. So don't look up to anybody, don't look down on anybody. This is all… Just think through this. Because all human beings have fixed it, something is good, something is bad, something is high, something is low, something is superior, something is inferior. In this state, there's no education, if you ask me. Only misuse of knowledge. So this is all you have to know. Never look up to anything, never look down on anything. You will become absolutely present and very human, full-fledged human. And if you become an overflowing humanity, your learning possibilities, your perception will blow up like that. That's what we need to do, but how to do it, they were telling me in these premises there are 10,000 girls. How to do it with 10,000 girls? It's tough. Okay, we will limit it to only 2,000 girls, then there will be strike outside on the street. Why are you not giving us admission? So this is a situation which can't be just fixed simply because somebody changed their mind, you can't fix it. There is a very complex reality there. So for yourself, we can do this, maybe, I don't know, from the student union or from the teacher's side. If we can identify responsible students, responsible need not necessarily mean obedient. Responsible need not necessarily mean they're getting 98 marks in where they should only get 60. So, responsible is different. All I'm saying is, if all of you girls assure the management that our time in the college, don't compel us to just necessarily sit in the class, but these 7 or 8 hours we are here, we will stay focused on something. We will not sit here and there gossiping, we'll focus on something. If education is a focused time, it doesn't matter what you focus on. Who knows, you may be science, suddenly you may become a better psychiatrist than her, psychologist than her, or she may be psychology, she may just pick up something else. Because choices are made considering so many things at a certain time, that may not be your genuine aptitude. See, there is a certain genius in every human being. Home situation and school situation must fundamentally focus on how to unfold that genius. Unless you create that atmosphere of incubation, it will not flower. Believe me, 99% of the human beings on this planet live and die without ever touching the inner genius that they hold within themselves. It is not just about them, what a loss to humanity. This is why the same stupid things are being debated for thousands of years, because human genius doesn't open, bunch of idiots. Yes, talking the same damn things forever as if it's something else. What every other creature with a millionth of your brain knows, human being is struggling to figure out. What a grasshopper knows, you're struggling to figure it out. This is not fair. Hello? This is not fair to humanity. I want a higher opinion. Hello, all of you.
It's another topic that is like very sensitive, but it's not talked about as much, is casual relationships that exist in this nice age group that we're in. So, yeah, I'm just going to say good things about us. So, people engage in physical relationships today, and what they lack is a lot of emotions. And we want to know if it's opinion, I mean your opinion on it, and whether people do it by choice. Is it healthy? Is it, you know, what to make of it?
Can I tell you a joke?
Yes,
There was one Mrs. Bhatia. No Bhatias? I could change the name. There was one Mrs. Bhatia who was having her 50th wedding anniversary. They had a wedding anniversary, and the next day she filed for divorce. The judge saw the divorce petition. He was also a good family friend. So he called her and he said, "Why you want to divorce your husband? He's such a sweet little thing. Why do you want to divorce him? On what grounds you want to divorce him?" She said, "He's not been faithful to me. He's been cheating me." How do you come to this conclusion? Just yesterday you had your 50th wedding anniversary, you were fine yesterday, how do you conclude this? I got little nostalgic and started flipping through the photo album. Then I saw none of my 5 children resemble him. So see, right now, do you remember how your great-great-great-great-great-grandmother 10 generations ago looked like? You don't. But her nose is sitting on your face right now. Your body remembers, yes or no? Your body remembers even the skin tone of your forefathers 1,000,000 years ago, it still remembers, not forgotten. So what you're calling as my body is an enormous amount of memory, isn't it? What you carry in your brain as memory is minuscule. What you carry in your body, there is evolutionary memory, there is genetic memory, there is karmic memory, there are articulate and inarticulate levels of memory. There is so much memory. You think you know how to walk right now, please understand, only because your body has built up that memory. If your body forgets, you won't be able to walk. So, the amount of memory for every simple thing that you do, you know what to eat, what not to eat, how to eat, you must put it in your mouth, not in your ears. This may look funny, but you would not know if you don't remember. So, your body is a repository of tremendous amount of memory and it's picking up all the time. If you walk from here to here, there may be 50 different kinds of mild smells. You may not consciously notice, but the body is picking it up and it recognizes. All the time it's recognizing, that's how you know what is good smell, what is bad smell, this is this smell, that is… You recognize the different aspects of sound, smell, this, that, because constant recognition is happening. So this body memory, traditionally in this culture, we call this as runanubandha. That means physical memory that you build. You can either consciously build your physical memory or you can simply take in wild amounts of memory and go through lots of physical confusion. So wherever there is impact, I don't know if you still have these things, maybe in your generation is gone, but still there will be people in Bangalore city. If you ask them to… if you try to give them salt, they won't take it, they'll say, keep it there. If you try to give them sesame seeds, they will say, please keep it there. Because they have recognized many substances which can easily carry your memory and it will become mine if I take it. So I don't want to take in memory. This is the reason why generally in this culture, touching each other, shaking hands, these things are avoided. We touch our own two hands and do namaskaram because we don't want to go on picking up memory. Because if I as much as touch this memory, it remembers. You try this with 4 of your friends, you touch their hands. Don't try to consciously remember, every day touch their hands, forget about it. Tomorrow, if that person comes and touches you, you know it's this hand, isn't it? So the body remembers, it's not the mind. The physical body remembers, this is called as runanubandha. When there is a sexual interaction or there is any kind of intimacy which involves thought, emotion and body, the amount of memory that is left in your system is very big. It is from this context they said you must keep this as simple as possible. There are other aspects where in certain tantric process and all they're involving, they are preparing themselves for years to distance themselves from the body in such a way that the body doesn't pick up anything from anywhere. This is being done like a sadhana, not as sexual promiscuity. So, the question is not of morality, the question is of what is it that you want to do with yourself in your life. If you want to be in such a way that in your life, your inner intelligence will be the most dominant thing in your life, not your physical body, then you must keep the body's memory as simple as possible. This is why simple types of food, people go into very simple kind of food, not complicated. Even now, I eat 1 meal a day and I eat only 1 item in the meal. I won't eat 10. I may eat all of those things another day, but today I'll eat only 1 item because it makes a huge… Just experiment and see, don't go by what I'm saying. Just experiment and see, especially when your examination time comes, eat simple food and see what a difference it makes for your intelligence, how it functions, how alert you are, everything. So, what is it that you're trying to build yourself to? Do you want to build yourself to be a sexual supernova or… No, I'm saying some people may have that intention, that's up to them. But what is it that you want to do with your life is something that you must decide. If you have decided that, it's very, very important that you don't unconsciously pick up enormous amount of memory because this will lead to… Later on you will see, it'll become very difficult to remain peaceful and joyful in your life, no matter what good things may be happening. Simply because there is confusing memories in the system. When something else of similar nature comes, the body goes into a turmoil of confusion. It may not translate into your mind. Just physically, it will go on. So, it's a choice that one has to make. It's not a question of morality, it is a question of living sensibly.
Thank you so much, Sadhguru. Now we shall be entering into the social media questions that our students have been sending in. So the first question is sent in by Shivangi Sharma. Lots have been spoken or debated about feminism. Girls are doing different things in the name of feminism. Is there any meaning to feminism, or are we fighting a non-existing idea?
See, there is a meaning to equal opportunity for all human beings. You should not even consider their gender. Women should have rights, I don't like that. All human beings should have equal opportunity. And they should choose what they want to do. What a man wants to do, what a woman wants to do, it's the choice of an individual. Just thinking all women are same, all men are same is a stupid idea. The requirement is not the same, the drives are not the same, and the aspirations are not the same. So, all women be like this, all women be like that, this is a very… this is the problem, when something is going wrong, people react to that and they think they can correct it by reversing everything. Reverse is not the answer, reaction is not the answer. What you do in reaction will always lead to one kind of injustice, will lead to another kind of injustice. There are various aspects attached to this, but feminism, if you're importing it from United States, most of the feminists, they didn't live well. They talked and talked and talked, and in the end their life is empty. Not because there is no man, you don't need a man, it's your choice, okay? But the problem is constantly being in a state of reaction doesn't lead to well-being of a human being. This is one species, we should not forget this. These are not two species, this is one species. The species is made in such a way that they have to… there is only possibility to exist together. There is no other way. Question is how much need you have for the opposite gender, or you don't have need for it, that's up to individual choices. But fundamentally, there is no such thing as superiority or inferiority. Once again, this superiority business has come, or this male domination has happened in various societies, mainly because we made economics the most important thing. Money is the only value. Now, the go-getter in the family is the only value. Let me share this with you. My mother did not earn a rupee in her life, and she didn't care about earning a rupee. But can you think that family… can you think of that family without her? Is it even a possibility? Rubbish. It's simply rubbish. That somebody thinks, oh, she didn't earn a rupee, so she must have been a slave, so she was a housewife, she worked all the time, nobody paid her. This is just stupid stuff, okay? Because money has become the greatest value. Right now in this town, if you say there is a big man, this doesn't mean he has a big body, we don't value them anymore. It doesn't mean he has a big brain, or a big heart, or big something else. No, he just has big pocket. So this has to change in the society. If money is the only value, male is the only value, I want you to understand this. Today, in the name of feminism, unfortunately, a whole lot of women are desperately trying to be like men. It's not so much in India. If you look in…
Be a multiplier of love and knowledge. Share this video with those you love, and together, let's spread light throughout the world.